So the article that I will be discussing today is The Comparison of Attitude of Nurses and Nursing Students Toward Euthanasia by Alireza Katoni. So this article basically describes the way that nurses and nursing students in conjunction feel about euthanasia as a whole and whether they are for it or against it. In the article, there was a study that was conducted towards this comparison where researchers used a socio-demographic questionnaire and attitude scale that basically included 20 items and sought to record participants' level of agreement with euthanasia. They took about 390 nurses and 125 nursing students. Collectively, they enrolled in this study, with the final results being that the majority of nurses and students had a positive outlook toward the ethical dilemma. I think this study is very important, not only because nurses do have an opinion or should have an opinion on this, but us as nursing students should also have an opinion on this. Even though we aren't exactly nurses just yet, we are striving and working hard to be these professional healthcare workers, and I think it is important to be able to have a say on it, especially because we're going to be having the responsibility of taking care of terminally ill patients who are gradually dying. So the question is, where do I stand on this? And I think I would just basically respond with yes. I think I do have a positive outlook on this topic, because if a patient is suffering and they are at a loss of dignity, they're suffering and they are at a loss of control, they should be able to make their own decision on whether they live or die. It's kind of in their hands, and I feel like it should be in their hands. And we as nurses, well, not a nurse just yet, but nurses in general, they have way more time on their hands with their patients, as do physicians. And I think that nurses in general, they get to see those kind of bad sides of patients and when they're basically dying, and those things that come with it, just the ugly side of it. And I think that that's probably why nurses have such a positive outlook on it, and I think that's why I have a positive outlook on it, because if I were in their shoes, like if I were already to be working in the hospital, I think I would believe and be on their side, because it's just, I wouldn't want to be watching my patient die day after day after day and them having to tell me, hey, please, you can do something about this, and I basically had to tell them, no, I can't. And I feel like that's where I stand on that, and I feel like that's why they should be able to have their the option to decide whether they live or die. So, yeah.